How to avoid childish answers in job interviews. How to make your answers logical and gain the trust of Japanese employers. Hello everyone. Today, I would like to talk about something very important for anyone preparing for a job interview in Japan. The topic of this video is, why interview answers sometimes sound childish. Why answers sometimes contradict each other, and how to improve answers that are very different from what Japanese companies expect. I have practiced interviews with many Nepali students who hope to work in Japan. During those practice sessions, I sometimes notice a problem that is more serious than grammar or pronunciation. The student can answer the question in Japanese, but the answer is not convincing. Sometimes the answer sounds childish. Sometimes it does not match what the student said earlier. Sometimes the answer is very different from the way Japanese companies think about employment. The student is usually trying very hard. They are not trying to give a bad answer. However, the interviewer may think, maybe this person has not seriously thought about work yet. Maybe this person has only memorized the answer. Maybe this person will not be able to work here for a long time. Today, I will explain why these problems happen and how to improve your answers, using specific examples. First, there is one important thing you should remember. A job interview is not a Japanese memorization contest. The purpose is not only to speak beautiful Japanese. The interviewer is not looking only at your Japanese ability. The interviewer also wants to know, how do you think? What do you do when you face a problem? Can you follow company rules? Can you cooperate with other people? Will you quit easily? Can the company trust you? You do not need to use difficult Japanese. It is okay if your Japanese is not perfect. What matters is that your answer sounds natural, has a clear reason, and is logical from beginning to end. The first problem, your answer sounds childish. In caregiving interviews, I often hear answers like these. I like old people. I want to help people. I want to be kind to everyone. I want to make everyone smile. I want to make people happy. These feelings are not bad. Kindness is very important. However, these answers alone are not strong enough for a job interview. The reason is that they are very general. Even a child could give the same answer. For example, if you say, I want to help people, the interviewer may think, why do you want to help people? Have you ever helped someone before? Why does it have to be caregiving? Why not work in a hospital, nursery school, or hotel? If you cannot explain further, your answer will not be convincing. So, how can you improve it? You should connect 4 things: your opinion, your reason, your personal experience, and what you want to do in the future. For example, a weak answer is, I want to work in caregiving because I like elderly people. This sounds too simple. A better answer would be, I helped my grandmother at home, and through that experience, I became interested in supporting other people. An even better answer would be, when my grandmother became unwell, I helped bring her meals and prepare for hospital visits. At first, I did not know what to do. But when she thanked me, I felt that supporting someone could be meaningful work. Because of that experience, I became interested in caregiving. I would like to learn caregiving knowledge and skills in Japan and work in this field for a long time. This answer includes a personal experience. It explains why the person became interested in caregiving. It also explains what the person wants to do in Japan. It is much more trustworthy than simply saying, I want to be kind. However, there is one important warning. Do not invent a story about caring for your grandparents if it is not true. If the interviewer asks detailed questions, your story may become inconsistent. For example, how long did you take care of your grandmother? What illness did she have? What was the most difficult part? If the experience is not real, it will be difficult to answer naturally. If you have no caregiving experience, it is okay to say so honestly. For example, I do not have caregiving experience yet. However, I learned about caregiving at my Japanese language school and understood that it is a job that supports people's daily lives. I know it is not an easy job, but I want to study the necessary knowledge and gradually improve my skills. This answer is more trustworthy than telling a false story. The second problem, your answers do not match each other. In an interview, it is not enough to answer only one question well. The interviewer asks many questions to check whether your answers are consistent. For example, imagine that you are asked, how many years would you like to work in Japan? You answer, I would like to work in Japan for as long as possible. Later, the interviewer asks, what is your future dream? You answer, I want to return to Nepal in 3 years and open my own shop. Now your answers do not match. You said you wanted to work in Japan for a long time, but you also said you would return home in 3 years. The interviewer may wonder, which answer is true? Another example is saying, I want to continue working in caregiving for a long time. Then later saying, in the future, I want to do a completely different job in Japan. The interviewer may begin to doubt your commitment to caregiving. Of course, your future plans may change. However, during the interview, you need to explain your plans clearly and logically. For example, first, I want to learn the caregiving job properly and work in Japan for a long time. I have not decided everything about my future yet, but I would like to continue using the experience I gain in caregiving. This answer connects your current goal and your future plan naturally. Let us look at another example. The interviewer asks, what is your strength? You answer, I am cheerful and can quickly become friendly with anyone. Later, the interviewer asks, what do you do when you disagree with a friend? You answer, I am not good at talking to people, so I say nothing. These two answers do not match well. Are you really cheerful and able to get along with everyone? Or are you uncomfortable talking to people? The interviewer may become confused. To avoid this kind of contradiction, do not try too hard to make yourself look better than you really are. You do not need to sound perfect. For example, I feel a little nervous when I meet someone for the first time, but I try to greet them first. After I get used to the situation, I can cooperate well with the people around me. This answer honestly admits that the person is a little shy, while also showing effort. It sounds natural and realistic. The third problem, mixing up why you want to work in Japan and why you chose the job. The questions, why do you want to go to Japan, and why do you want to work in caregiving, are different questions. However, many students give almost the same answer to both. For example, I like Japan, so I want to work in caregiving. Liking Japan can be a reason for wanting to go to Japan. But it is not a clear reason for choosing caregiving. If you simply like Japan, you could also choose factory work, hotel work, food service, agriculture, or another field. What the interviewer really wants to know is, why did you choose caregiving from among many different jobs? So, you should separate these two questions. For the question, why do you want to work in Japan? You can talk about what you want to learn in Japan. What you think about the Japanese work environment. Your future goals. For example, I learned that people in Japan place great importance on time and workplace rules. I would like to work in that kind of environment and improve my attitude toward work. For the question, why did you choose caregiving? You can talk about what made you interested in caregiving. How the job relates to your personality or experience. What you want to learn in caregiving. For example, I am interested in work where listening carefully and thinking about what another person needs are important. I learned that caregiving is a job that supports people closely in their daily lives. I would like to gain the necessary knowledge and skills. It is important to understand the purpose of each question and answer them separately. The fourth problem, sounding like money is your only goal. It is natural that money is one of the reasons you want to work in Japan. You may want to support your family. You may want to save money for the future. You may want to earn more than you can in Nepal. These are not bad reasons. Japanese people also work to support their lives. However, if you only say, I want to go to Japan because the salary is high. I want to earn a lot of money. I want to send money to my family. The interviewer may become worried. They may think, if another company offers a higher salary, will this person quit immediately? If the job becomes difficult, will this person give up? This does not mean you must never talk about money. The important thing is not to end your answer with money. For example, I want to work steadily so that I can support my family. To do that, I understand that I need to learn the job properly, follow company rules, and work for a long time. This answer connects responsibility toward the family with responsibility toward the job. It shows that you are not only looking for a high salary. It also shows that you understand the importance of stable, long-term work. The fifth problem, sounding like you do not understand how difficult the job is. In caregiving interviews, some students say, caregiving is a kind job. It is a job where you can enjoy talking with elderly people. It is a job where you can smile every day. Of course, communication and smiling are important. But caregiving is not only about that. It can include helping with meals, helping with bathing, helping with toileting, helping people move safely, night shifts, supporting people with dementia, checking changes in physical condition, reporting and communicating with other staff members. There are many responsibilities. Physical strength is also necessary. Sometimes communication is difficult. Even when you are busy, you must always think about safety. So, if you only say, "I like elderly people, so I want to enjoy working with them," the interviewer may feel that you do not fully understand the job. A better answer would be, "I understand that caregiving is not only about talking with residents. It also includes helping with meals, bathing, movement, and many other parts of daily life. I know that it requires physical strength and is not an easy job. When I do not understand something, I will ask senior staff and learn the job while always placing safety first." This answer shows that you understand the difficulty of the work and still want to try. The sixth problem: sounding irresponsible when talking about mistakes. In interviews, you may be asked, "What would you do if you made a mistake at work? What would you do if you were late? What would you do if someone corrected you?" Some students answer, "I will be careful next time. I will never make the same mistake again. I will apologize immediately." Apologizing is important. However, in Japanese companies, what you do after apologizing is also very important. For example, if you are late and only say, "I am sorry. I will be careful next time," the same problem may happen again. The interviewer wants to know, why did the mistake happen? How will you report it? How did it affect other people? What will you do to prevent it from happening again? For example, if I know that I will be late, I will contact the company immediately. When I arrive, I will apologize to my supervisor and anyone affected by my lateness. After that, I will think about why it happened. If I overslept, I will use more alarms and go to bed earlier. I will take action so that the same problem does not happen again. This answer shows responsibility. In caregiving, your lateness may prevent another employee from going home on time. It may also delay support for residents. It is not only your personal problem. In Japanese workplaces, it is very important to understand how your actions affect the whole team. The seventh problem: saying, "I can do anything." When you strongly want to pass the interview, you may answer every question with, "Yes, I can." For example, "Can you work night shifts? Can you handle difficult work? Can you work anywhere? Can you support any kind of resident?" You may say, "Yes, no problem." But is everything really no problem? If you say, "Yes," without understanding the job, the interviewer may think you did not understand the question. Also, after joining the company, if you say, "I was not told about this. I cannot do this," the trust between you and the company may be damaged. It is okay to ask questions when you do not understand. For example, "I do not have night shift experience yet, but I would like to learn about the duties, prepare properly, and try. I do not have experience supporting people with dementia. I would like to learn through training and ask senior staff when I am unsure." These answers sound more honest. Do not hide what you cannot currently do. Explain what you cannot do yet and show your willingness to learn. How should you create your interview answers? When creating an answer, I recommend following 4 steps. First, give your conclusion. Answer the question briefly. Second, explain your reason. Say why you think that way. Third, give an experience or specific example. Connect the answer to something that really happened in your life. Fourth, explain how you will use it at work. Say how your way of thinking will help you in your job in Japan. For example, imagine the question, "What is your strength?" Conclusion, "My strength is that I continue what I decide to do until the end." Reason, "Even when I do not see results quickly, I believe it is important to continue little by little every day." Experience, "When I started studying Japanese, I found kanji difficult. However, I practiced 10 kanji every day and continued studying." How you will use it at work. In caregiving, I also want to keep learning every day and not leave things I cannot do without improvement. Even with simple Japanese, this structure creates a strong answer. What you should check after interview practice. After creating your answers, check the following points. Is this answer based on your real experience? Does it actually answer the question? Does it contradict anything else you said? Can you answer if the interviewer asks, "Why?" Is there anything that may make a Japanese company feel worried? Does it sound like you are taking the job too lightly? Are you using too much difficult Japanese? Are you memorizing words that you cannot normally use? And the most important question is, are these really my own words? Continue improving your answer until you can honestly say yes. The same rule applies when using ChatGPT. Do not memorize ChatGPT's answer exactly as it is. Tell ChatGPT, my Japanese level is N4. I have never been to Japan. Please do not use difficult words or excessive formal language. Please use only my real experiences. Please tell me if there is anything that may worry a Japanese interviewer. Please check whether my answers contradict each other. Then read the final answer yourself and ask, can I really speak like this? Interviewers are not looking for perfect answers. They want to know whether you have seriously thought about the job. Do you understand yourself? Are you willing to learn what you do not know? Can you take responsibility when you make a mistake? Can you cooperate with others? Are you willing to work for a long time? These are the things they are looking at. Finally, I would like to tell you one more important thing. You do not need difficult Japanese to improve a childish answer. A mature answer does not mean an answer with difficult words. A mature answer means, your opinion has a reason. Your story is consistent. You understand the reality of the job. You take responsibility for your actions. And you speak honestly in your own words. That is what makes an answer sound mature and trustworthy. It is okay if your Japanese is not perfect. It is okay if you speak slowly. However, interviewers can usually tell when you are using memorized words that you do not fully understand. You do not need to make yourself look better than you really are. Talk honestly about what you can do now, what you cannot do yet, what you have worked hard to achieve, what you want to learn in the future. The interviewer does not want to meet a perfectly created character. They want to know who you really are and how you may grow after joining the company. A job interview is not a test where you must guess the correct answer. It is an important opportunity for you and the company to understand each other. Speak in your own words and share your own thoughts. That is the first step toward gaining the interviewer's trust. Thank you very much for watching until the end. Please use today's lesson to check your interview answers again. Do your answers have clear reasons? Do they contradict any of your other answers? Do they show that you understand the reality of the job? And most importantly, are they really your own words? If you practice a little every day, you will gradually become able to speak more naturally. I sincerely hope that you can achieve your dream of working in Japan. See you in the next video.